If you suffer from excessive sleepiness due to a medical condition such as narcolepsy, obstructive sleep apnea, or even as a side effect of medication, this can affect your ability and fitness to work depending on the type of job you do. It could be safety critical work, and it could also be driving. Excessive sleepiness is basically when you have a strong desire to fall asleep, or you're practically sleeping during the day when you should be awake. And it could be anything. It could be reading a book, it could be watching television, and it could be while driving. Especially if you thought you had a good night's rest and you're still falling asleep or you still feel quite fatigued or drowsy. In the UK, we have what we call the DVLA standards for driving. So let's look at how this applies to obstructive sleep apnea or any medical condition that causes excessive sleepiness. So usually with your driving, you're grouped into two separate categories. You've got group 1 for car and motorcycle, you've got group 2 for vehicles such as lorries and buses, and the guidance is similar for both. So if you have excessive sleepiness due to a medical condition such as mild obstructive sleep apnea or due to medication, you're advised that you must not drive, and you should hopefully have symptom control within 3 months of having those symptoms. If you cannot achieve symptom control within those 3 months, then you must now inform the DVLA, which is the Driver and Vehicle Licensing Agency. Now, if you have excessive sleepiness due to obstructive sleep apnea that's moderate or severe, you must not drive and you must notify the DVLA. The DVLA will like to know that you are adhering to treatment, you've got good control of your condition, and that your sleepiness has now improved. Don't just take your word for it. They will need medical confirmation, so they would usually request to write to the specialist. And because you now have an underlying condition of moderate or severe obstructive sleep apnea that usually requires treatment such as CPAP, they would usually request that you should have reviews of the specialist. So if you fall into group 1 where you drive motorcycles and cars, that's every 3 years. If you fall into group 2 where you drive lorries and buses, that's annually, so every year. So what if you have excessive sleepiness but you've not actually been diagnosed with obstructive sleep apnea but it is suspected? It is still advised that you must not drive. But if there has been satisfactory control of your symptoms, you can drive. However, this satisfactory control of your symptoms has to happen within 3 months. And if symptom control cannot be achieved within 3 months, you need to notify the DVLA. And that's until the diagnosis has been confirmed or excluded. To inform the DVLA, you simply go online. There are forms to fill in. Going to the website, there's SL1 and SL2. The SL1 is the form you fill in where they also ask details of your specialist or consultant, while the SL2 is usually sent to your specialist to now confirm your medical condition, what treatment you've been having, and if you've had any control of your symptoms. Now, one thing a lot of people forget is your car insurance. It is very important to notify your car insurance if you've got excessive sleepiness or obstructive sleep apnea. Because what happens if you have an accident, which is not your fault, your insurance will still be invalidated because you did not notify your car insurance that you had a sleep condition. And also your insurance would say, how can we prove that this was not your fault? Because you've got obstructive sleep apnea, which means you're more likely to fall asleep during the day. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please feel free to ask any questions.